y'all. I also made a mistake yesterday and I did not film. So I wanted to kind of go over what I did yesterday. And to do that, I'm actually going to use the Nutritionix app, which I've been using since I started. And I love it because it has a barcode scanner. And all of the Optavia products are already in the app, so I don't have to sit there and type in calories and carbs and fat. It's all there. There's also a lot of information from restaurants and from branded foods that you buy at the store, and pretty much there's a lot of things that are already in here as well. So it's really made tracking my food much easier. And I decided that I wanted to track it like this mostly because I wanted to be able to look back and see what I had done in the past, and kind of what I had been looking at over the course of this, how many calories I was consuming, what the breakdown was of macronutrients between fat, protein, and carbohydrates, and it's all in this app, so it's really, really easy. So yesterday, I had the old-fashioned maple and brown sugar oatmeal, which is exactly what it tastes like, what it sounds like. So I had that first thing in the morning because I knew it was going to be kind of tricky on my mind because I knew I'd be so busy that day. So I wanted to have a fueling that not only filled me up like all of them do, but one that tricked my mind into thinking I had had breakfast and be happy with that. So I had that first. After going to do that, I ran all the way across town. I had to drop my son off at Cub Scouts, and then I went and picked up my husband's birthday cake from across town, and then I came back, and I got back right in 3 hours. Like, it was almost 3 hours to the minute. So I made the pancakes real quick. I like to make the pancakes on the thin side, so I use a 1/4 cup of water instead of 3 tablespoons. I don't make it into 3 smaller pancakes. I make it 1 big pancake, but that's because I have a griddle. So I have the space, on there to pour the batter. And it kind of makes an oblong pancake because I don't want it running onto the sides of the griddle. But it works really well. I put my gas oven at a 5, or my gas stove at a 5, so it's warm, it's true medium temperature, and I just pour the batter out. I do have the chocolate chip pancakes, and the first time I made the pancakes, all of my chocolate chips ended up on one side of the pancake. So what I've done since then is I've actually taken a sifter and put a sifter over the bowl before I mix it, and I've dumped the packet into the sifter so that all of the powdered mix falls into the bowl for me to mix in the water, and then it's left the chocolate chips. So I've separated the chocolate chips out. And then after I pour the batter on the griddle, then I'm taking the chocolate chips and spreading them out manually throughout the batter so that I kind of get chocolate chips throughout, because they really do make a difference. They are like a bittersweet chocolate, but they give it that chocolate flavor. They're excellent. So that's what I did yesterday morning after I got back from my errands. And then 2.5 hours later, I went ahead and had the spinach pesto mac and cheese. Last time I made this, I actually put a 1/2 cup of asparagus in it, and I liked it better that way. So I think next time I plan on making the spinach pesto mac and cheese, I'm going to reserve one of my greens to eat with that fueling, because I really, really enjoyed it that way. Without the asparagus, it is a little soupy, but I like pesto, so I really enjoyed it anyway. I just felt like I was eating pesto soup instead of pesto mac and cheese. So There you go. Mid-afternoon, in between lunch, which was the pesto mac and cheese, and the party, which was last evening, I had the caramel delight crisp bar. I was gonna have a brownie, or something else, but I did not have time to cook it. I had to get ready for the party, so I just grabbed one of those bars and ate it real quick. The caramel delight crisp bar I find very easy to eat, very quick to eat, and so I just downed it and went. And then at dinner I had the paella, which was a mistake. I don't recommend doing that. It was really yummy. At the end of the meal, it was a Spanish restaurant, so it was a very slow process to eat. We had the appetizers, the tapas, and then at like 6:30ish, and then the paella came out around 7, and then it was almost 9 o'clock before we had the cake, which was fine. It was a wonderful evening. It was a lot of conversation with friends, and as we got toward the end of it, I went ahead and had my last fueling of the day for dessert. So everyone else had their cake, and I had the drizzled chocolate fudge crisp bar. I picked this one because it was the most like chocolate cake to me, other than the brownie. I had planned all week that I was going to do the brownie, but I didn't make it in time, and so I didn't have it to take with me. I needed something quick that I could just grab out of the pantry, and so that's what I did. I got that drizzled chocolate fudge crisp bar. And I will tell you, I loved it. It was good. My mouth is watering just thinking about it still. So we're talking about food that I've actually enjoyed. And that makes all the difference. I've done programs with prepackaged food before, and 9 times out of 10, I don't like them. They have no flavor, they have no the texture's horrible, whatever. What I've found with Optavia is that is not the case. The food that they give you is actually good to eat. It is yummy. So that has made a big difference. So that was my day yesterday. If you haven't seen my husband's chocolate cake, it was a red velvet cake. My husband has been for his whole life a Kiss fan, and so this is what his cake looked like, just so you see it. But regardless, I chose not to have it, which was good. Instead, I had one of my fuelings from the Optavia line. I had one of the chocolate crisp bars, which was great because it was still chocolatey and still dessert-ish, nobody even noticed that I was eating something different. I had some cake on my plate, I just didn't eat it. So that was that.